Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I started the video and it was like it was not doing something right, so I had to stop it. Anyways, this is not a request. I saw this pop up. Why are the Jinn so dangerous? This is I don't know if I've ever covered this channel, Pantheon Mythology. So I've subscribed to them so that I could find the video 6 days ago. Anyways, if you give me a thumbs up, I got a cough. Okay. Um, you can give that thumbs up a click for me and subscribe to the channel. It helps out tremendously. Sorry, I'm repeating it. Um, and you can donate to the channel through the thanks button. If you donate, you get you request a video. Your name's sponsoring that video. Okay. You can still request without. It just takes a little bit longer. Okay. Let's see why the Jinn are so dangerous.
They are neither angels nor demons, but something else entirely. Born from smokeless fire, they walk the line between good and evil, seen and unseen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pantheon Mythology, and today we're diving into the question, why are the Jinn so dangerous? If you too want to be something else entirely, check out Pantheon Apparel, our clothing brand inspired by myth in the description. In the ancient landscapes of Arabian deserts and isolated oases, tales of the Jinn have existed for centuries, weaving through pre-Islamic folklore and evolving within Islamic tradition. The Jinn, neither angelic nor human, are supernatural entities made from smokeless fire, a creation distinct from the clay of humankind and the pure light of angels. This composition gives them a unique position in the unseen realms, allowing them to occupy spaces that remain hidden from human eyes, yet close enough to interact with our world in mysterious ways. The origins of the Jinn trace back to a time when these beings were believed to inhabit remote, desolate places like deserts, ruins, and abandoned wells, areas that inspired both fear and respect. They were seen as spirits of nature, connected to elements and able to shapeshift, moving freely between their world and ours. Pre-Islamic Arabian beliefs held that Jinn could influence human lives, appearing as shadows at the edge of firelight or as whispers in the dark, affecting the fortunes and misfortunes of those they encountered. With the rise of Islam, the concept of the Jinn was incorporated into a broader theological framework. They became recognized as part of Islamic cosmology. Islamic tradition describes them as beings created by Allah, endowed with the same gift of free will given to humans. This means that the Jinn can choose between good and evil, and their actions range from helpful to harmful, making them inherently unpredictable. They are often mentioned in the Quran, which describes their creation from smokeless fire and acknowledges their capacity to worship, think, and act independently of divine compulsion. The Jinn's freedom to create their own path, along with their hidden presence and supernatural abilities, has contributed to their reputation as dangerous and mysterious beings. Unlike angels, who are bound to obey divine commandments, the Jinn walk a more ambiguous path, balancing on the edge of good and evil. This complex nature allows them to shapeshift, possess, and even deceive, making them both feared and respected. Within the Muslim world, people are often advised to exercise caution in desolate places where Jinn might dwell, or recite protective verses to avoid encounters with these powerful entities. The powers of the Jinn are as elusive and varied as the beings themselves. Their abilities are rooted in the very essence of their creation, smokeless fire, which grants them a range of supernatural talents far beyond human capabilities. One of their most feared abilities is shapeshifting. Jinn can take on countless forms, appearing as animals, humans, or even shadowy figures, seamlessly moving between identities. This capacity to transform makes them nearly impossible to identify and allows them to blend into the human world undetected. Beyond shapeshifting, Jinn are said to possess the power of invisibility, a trait that keeps them hidden from mortal eyes, yet ever present in our surroundings. This unseen presence has often fueled tales of whispers in deserted places or cold chills in empty rooms, signs that a Jinn may be watching from the shadows. In addition to their invisibility, they are known to have a certain degree of telepathic ability, allowing them to sense human thoughts, intentions, and vulnerabilities. This uncanny perception heightens their unpredictability, as they can use these insights to influence or manipulate those around them. These powers make the Jinn both powerful and dangerous. Their shapeshifting and invisibility allow them to enter places without detection, and their telepathy can make human minds and emotions an open book to them. Such powers have solidified Jinn's reputation as beings who should not be provoked, as their talents give them the ability to influence, harm, or deceive without leaving any trace. This combination of abilities creates a sense of unease, as one can never be sure whether a Jinn is near, observing, or even interacting under a familiar disguise. Within the realm of the Jinn, there is an intricate hierarchy and diversity that adds to their allure and their danger. Not all Jinn are created equal. Each type has its own traits, intentions, and powers, which vary widely in both strength and disposition. Known as one of the most powerful types of Jinn, the Marid are often linked to water and are notorious for their strength and arrogance. They are the Jinn most commonly associated with granting wishes, but such favours come at great cost. Marids can be benevolent or neutral if approached respectfully, but their formidable nature means that offending them could provoke dangerous consequences. The Ifrit are a fierce and fiery class of Jinn. Often depicted as vengeful and ruthless, known to inhabit desolate places and ruins, these beings are both cunning and exceptionally strong, making them some of the most feared among the Jinn. Stories often portray Ifrit as rebellious and malevolent, striking fear into those who might cross their path or disturb their domain. Derived from the Arabic word for devil or Satan, the shaitan are among the most malevolent types of Jinn. Known for their devious nature, they are driven by a desire to mislead and cause discord, often whispering temptations and inciting harmful actions among humans. The shaitan embody the darker, more destructive forces within Jinn hierarchy, drawing the line closer to what many would consider demonic.
Can you imagine? You have a kid, right? Your kid has an imaginary friend. You say, why don't you draw a picture of your imaginary friend? And he draws that. Not only do we move, the kid gets put up for adoption, hopefully to another country. You're not bringing that into the house. No. I would look at that picture and say, yeah, are you being serious right now? And if the answer is yes, I would immediately grab him and throw him out a window. Hey, no.
The ghoul are sinister beings linked with graveyards and desert wastelands. Unlike other types of Jinn, ghoul are commonly depicted as flesh-eaters, lurking in burial grounds and preying on the vulnerable.
So that's like a zombie. I mean, it looks like a pirate zombie, but, yeah, I'm getting it.
Their shape-shifting abilities allow them to take on monstrous forms, and their malicious nature reinforces their reputation as one of the more terrifying types of Jinn. In contrast to the more fearsome types, the Jinn are a relatively benign class of Jinn, often depicted as protective spirits of the desert. They are known to be neutral, sometimes even helpful towards humans, particularly those travelling through desolate areas. The Jinn's ability to shapeshift, often taking the form of animals like serpents, makes them the guardians of the wilderness, typically favouring peace unless provoked. The Jinn are lesser known, often considered the gentlest among the Jinn. Associated with rural areas and animals, particularly dogs, Jinn are generally regarded as harmless and prefer to avoid confrontation. While they share the shapeshifting ability of other Jinn, they tend to dwell in secluded natural areas and rarely interact with humans. The Sitla are a mysterious class of female Jinn known for their exceptional shapeshifting abilities. They are often depicted as seductresses, using their transformations to mislead or entrap travellers. With a reputation for deception and trickery, the Sila are seen as cunning beings who revel in leading others astray, embodying the mischievous and manipulative aspects of Jinn nature. These classifications reveal the true complexity within the world of Jinn. Some, like the Marid and Jinn, may lean towards neutrality, or even helpfulness, while others, like shaitan and ghoul, embody a darker, more malevolent trait. This diversity in temperament and intent is what makes the jinn so enigmatic and at times extremely dangerous. The relationship between jinn and humans is complicated, marked by cultural beliefs, psychological influence, and sometimes fear. Across generations, communities have developed ways of understanding and interpreting encounters with these unseen beings, resulting in practices that reflect both caution and deep respect for the unknown. In many cultures, everyday behaviors are shaped by a cautious awareness of jinn. People often avoid mentioning jinn directly, especially at night, believing that speaking of them could unintentionally invite their presence. Actions like whistling in the dark, pouring hot water in unknown places, or lingering in deserted areas are consciously avoided, as these behaviors are thought to disturb jinn. This collective caution helps establish an unspoken social code, especially in regions where belief in jinn is widely held, reinforcing a community bond through shared customs and superstitions. Beyond influencing behaviors, the belief in jinn has a lasting psychological impact. Encounters with jinn, whether real or perceived, can affect how communities interpret unusual events or unexplained symptoms. Instances of mental distress, sudden illness, or changes in personality are sometimes attributed to jinn influence. This belief often prompts collective action within families and communities, fostering support systems and rituals meant to address the issue. The notion of jinn possession in particular brings together family members and local leaders, creating a community-based approach to what might otherwise be isolating experiences. However, not all hope is lost, as humans have developed various methods to protect themselves from potential harm. Understanding how to navigate the unseen world of jinn is essential, leading many to adopt rituals and practices intended to ward off their influence. One of the most common protective measures is the recitation of specific verses from the Quran. It is believed that these verses create a barrier against harmful jinn and other malevolent forces. Regular recitation during daily prayers or before sleeping is thought to shield individuals from unwanted encounters, providing spiritual fortification against their influence. In addition to specific verses, maintaining a routine of daily prayers is crucial in Islamic practice. These prayers serve not only as a spiritual discipline, but also means to invoke divine protection. Supplications specifically asking for refuge from harmful jinn are often included in personal prayers, reinforcing the belief in seeking help from a higher power to safeguard against the dangers they might pose. In various cultures, the use of amulets and talismans is a traditional method for protection against jinn. These items, often inscribed with prayers or sacred symbols, are worn or kept close to the body. Believers hold that these objects can deflect negative energy and provide a shield against jinn encounters, acting as physical reminders of faith and protection. Engaging in rituals of purification is another way communities seek to ward off jinn. Before entering a new environment, especially one perceived as potentially haunted or cursed, individuals might perform specific cleansing rituals such as sprinkling water infused with salt or reciting protective prayers. These acts serve as means of creating a spiritually clean space, reducing the likelihood of jinn presence. Caution is a central tenet in interactions with jinn. Many cultures advocate for avoiding actions that could provoke or summon jinn, such as engaging in magic, using their names carelessly, or attempting to communicate directly with them. This cautionary approach underscores a profound respect for the power of jinn and acknowledges the risks inherent in provoking these powerful beings. As mentioned earlier, the notion of free will is fundamental in understanding the jinn's moral landscape. Legend has it that jinn are created with the same capacity for choice as humans. This means they can act out of kindness, compassion, and assistance, or embrace malevolence, mischief, and harm. Their ability to choose adds depth to their character, making them not merely supernatural beings, but entities capable of complex motivations and actions. However, this free will also leads to moral ambiguity. Unlike angels who are bound to obey divine commandments and act in accordance with goodness, jinn navigate a much murkier path. Their choices can be influenced by personal motives, desires, or grievances, which can lead them to act unpredictably.
If a jinn is helpful and it's good, does that guarantee that it would, go to heaven, or is a jinn doomed for hell regardless? And if a jinn starts out bad and then has a change, does that change then dictate its allowance to go up instead of going down? Just wondering.
This unpredictability is what makes jinn particularly dangerous. Their actions are not guided by a moral compass that aligns with human understanding of right and wrong. For example, a jinn may choose to help a person in need, but their assistance could come with strings attached or unforeseen consequences. Alternatively, a jinn might take offense at a perceived slight or respond with malicious intent, leading them to harm without warning. This duality makes them a constant source of concern in the human psyche, as one can never be entirely certain of a jinn's true intentions. The implications of jinn exercising their free will extend beyond individual encounters. When jinn choose to engage with humans, whether it be benevolently or malevolently, they can significantly impact human lives. This influence might manifest as small, seemingly innocuous events or as profound disruptions, depending on the jinn's motives. So why are the jinn considered dangerous? From their origins as beings of smoke,
I would say if they don't have any moral compass like a person does, then they might not have a concept of, right or wrong. Because if you're doing something to help and you're I'm popping them peas, I apologize. If you're doing something to help, but you're at the same time attaching strings to it, then you're not really helping. But I understand sometimes we do that as humans. We help, but I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I'm going to help you out, you help me out. But I would say the no moral compass makes them so difficult to be able to navigate, because it could be good 1 minute and then turn around and be bad the next.
smokeless fire, the jinn possess powers far beyond human comprehension: shapeshifting, invisibility, and the ability to read minds. This vast array of abilities gives them a level of unpredictability that few can guard against. Unlike angels who are bound by divine instruction, the jinn possess free will, which means they can choose to act benevolently or malevolently, often shifting between the two. Their ambiguous morality and hidden motives make them an ever-present risk in human lives. They can offer guidance, protection, or seemingly harmless wishes, but with consequences that often twist into curses or chaos. Across cultures and centuries, these supernatural beings have occupied a space of both fear and fascination. Their interactions with humans, often shrouded in mystery, remind us that there are forces in the world that lie beyond our understanding and control. It is this very elusiveness, the combination of power, unpredictability, and the moral complexity that make the jinn so dangerous, and why they continue to inspire caution and respect. In tales whispered around campfires, through religious teachings, and in the minds of those who dwell on the edge of the unknown, the jinn remain a powerful reminder of the unseen forces that surround us, forces that are neither angelic nor demonic, but something else entirely.
Well, that was interesting. Where are the gods of chaos and destruction from? Oh, who are? Should probably try to read, Kris. Okay. This is interesting. They have quite a bunch of vampires and witches and I wrote Deathless. I read Deathless, and then I read Vegan. Not it. Don't know what my mind is apparently just not working. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and stop it there. I might check out a couple more videos on this just to kind of see what they have. I thought that one was interesting. I guess it kind of depends on what you think, though. By that, I mean the views.
They are neither.
By that, I mean the views. Ooh, who really is Lilith? It's my neighbor. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to end this here. But until next time, have a good day, have a good night. Wrong button. There you go.